On this week's episode of Today I Would Like to Share.
Today I would like to share octopus. Octopi. Octopuses? Octopuses? Octopi. It's probably octopi.
Today I would like to share Jack the Baboon.
Today, I would like to share with you a game I like to call Who Has Rocks for Brains?
Hello and welcome to Today I Would Like to Share, where we take some time out of our busy lives to share the things important to us. My name is Kyle, and with me today, he is to life what vaping is to cigarettes, Jordan.
Does that mean that the U.S. government is going to ban me because there's black market versions of me that are killing people?
Wait, what? I think I'm gonna ban you then, if that's the case.
Okay.
And I want to give him a big ol' hug, Andrew.
Oh, that's so nice. You know what? Let's virtually embrace right now. You got your arms around your monitor?
I got him around my mic stand. Does that work?
That works. Mine are on my monitor.
Cool.
It feels nice
All
and
right,
warm.
I'm getting in on this three-way.
My mic
here
is
we
very
go.
cold.
I can feel
it. Well, what's up with you guys?
Doing
Not
a
too much,
podcast.
besides being the only person still holding onto their monitor.
And there's a reason for that. So y'all know how a while back I broke my toe because I dropped a huge wooden door on it.
Oh, yeah.
So the nail, like my old nail finally popped off, and that was gross. But the other one has still got like half the distance to go to fully grow like to normal. And it's not growing super great, so it went into the side of my foot, and now I've got an infected toe that hurts pretty bad.
Oh, man. That sucks.
Yeah, I went to the doctor the other day. I gotta start taking antibiotics and soaking it and all that dumb bullshit. But so yeah, that's fun. That's what's up with me.
That happened with my finger a while back. It's not fun.
Yeah,
Couldn't imagine it being your toe.
it happens every once in a while with my fingers, but it usually goes away like within a couple hours.
Right.
But like when I cut them too short or something. But this was like this blew up. Like my toe was pretty big, and it was just gushing pus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Gushy pus. Thanks for putting that description.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There's-
Listen, it's always my pleasure.
Out of the last, 2.5 minutes of you talking, I needed to know about 4 of those words. And they weren't
What for?
pus, and they weren't infected toe. That's for sure.
That's why they call me Kyle Needless to Know Information Townsend.
No, I mean, it sucks that your foot's still injured.
Yeah.
That's really not fun. Sorry,
My-
you're going through a painful foot period right now.
So, Andrew, what kind of injuries do you have?
My
why do I
knee's
always
been
seem to be
sore
hurt?
from riding my bike, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. Dude, I got bad knees, so when the weather changes, they start hurting real bad.
I've been having a weird hip problem.
Why are humans barometers?
Dude,
Can
I
we
don't
ask
know,
that
but
question?
it's crazy.
Why does the weather
Because
mess with us
we
so
have
much?
sealed joints that are pressure sensitive.
I mean, yeah. There's also, it's a lot of water in us.
yeah, too. We're squishy.
We're just little sponges.
Or moist.
We're moist. The 2 words people hate: moist and pus. My girlfriend keeps getting mad at me
gushy.
for saying pus, and she's like yells at me. She goes, "Just say stuff." I'm like, I can't remember that.
You know what word I hate? Goop.
Goop. Oh, you know
the
why I
brand?
hate goop? Because of Gwyneth Paltrow.
We need to have a Gwyneth Paltrow episode.
Can we not?
Did you
shit
hate
on
Goop
everything.
before Goop was a brand? Is it just the word, or is it the brand that you hate?
I hated it before Goop was a brand.
Okay.
So
I
it's
have a
just
story
happy
behind it,
coincidence.
but I don't want to share it on this podcast.
Okay. Well, we won't make
Wow.
you.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'll quickly change the subject and say, today I would like to share octopus. Octopi. octopuses? Octopi. It's probably octopi. Anyway, so going off of Andrew's obsession with squid, and probably all cephalopods in general, I wanted to share some stories about octopus. As you all know, they tend to be incredibly smart, to what is my belief the detriment of the world. They will one day rise up and take over. But here I have 8 true stories about octopus. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to hit a couple of the cooler ones. Let's say 3. I'll pick 3 to share. Cat, what are you doing? It's trying to claw its way into the closet.
Damn, we should buy this.
Dude, the cat knows you're talking about octopus.
I know.
It does not like it. They are mortal enemies.
I thought I'd shut the door. Maybe it was already in here. I have no idea.
It goes anyway.
It's a different one this time, though. It's the shy one. He decided he wants to come play. So where was I? Oh yeah, octopi. So octopi are going to take over the world, and we just need to be ready to serve our cephalopod overlords. So the first story is called "One Bad Shrimp Spoils the Bunch." One day, at feeding time, an octopus's owner fed him his usual tasty treat of a bucket of shrimp. The octopus always seemed to enjoy this meal. The man dumped the shrimp in the octopus tank and walked down a hall into another room and sat down. The only problem was one of the shrimp were bad. Octopuses smell their food with their suckers on their arms, and when the octopus detects the bad shrimp, he climbed up and out of the tank with the shrimp in tow. Then he crawled all the way down the hall into the room where his owner was. He took the shrimp up to one of his arms and threw the bad shrimp onto the owner's desk. He then crawled back down the hall and into his tank. The octopus felt the need to send a message to his owner. He knew where the shrimp came from and stamped this one return to sender. The octopus knew he could escape at any time, but he didn't want to miss his next delicious shrimp meal.
These are all true stories. Isn't that what you said? That's funny.
That's amazing.
Sometimes, it's the internet, so you don't really know for sure.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, me too. Octopi are really smart, and
because I've seen these same stories from multiple sources, which I'm sure there is an actual true story, and people are just keep taking it as their own story,
Right. The true thing that happened was the octopi returned a shrimp.
Yeah.
And then, all the flavor of turning it into an actual story is interpreted.
So the next one is the late night fisherman. Octopuses can squeeze out of the smallest openings by changing the shape of their bodies. Even a large octopus can squish itself down to a fraction of its normal size and shape. Most time, octopuses that escape are curious and want to see what's on the other side of the tank. At one aquarium, workers kept noticing that the fish were in another tank were disappearing during the night.
I've told this story before.
On here?
That's funny. And not on our podcast, but I remember talking to you guys about this.
Yeah. The workers searched high and low but could not find where the fish had disappeared to. The octopus made it a game to escape his tank, crawl over to another tank that held the fish, and eat them. He observed the workers every night, checking on all the sea creatures. He would wait for the workers to finish and then leave the aquarium. Then he would spring into action. He'd crawl across the floor to the fish tank and grab himself a fishy snack. Then he would crawl back to his tank and close the lid before anyone was the wiser. It took the workers many days to figure out what was happening to all the fish. Eventually, the workers had to tape his tank shut to keep him from escaping and eating all the other sea creatures.
I was reading the news article from the actual aquarium where this happened, and they were saying that this octopus studied the shifts for the people coming in, and so he knew exactly his window of opportunity every single day, which is insane.
That's awesome.
This one is in this last one, the food critic. Octopuses don't have big claws or sharp teeth that defend themselves. That's why they've learned to be crafty to survive in the wild. They have also learned to communicate in ways with people. The captive octopus from the East Coast had a picky appetite. She wanted fresh fish for her meals, but the caretakers only fed her canned fish. So, one day during feeding, as the caretaker looked on, the octopus looked right at him and pushed all the canned fish down the drain. The octopus learned how to tell its caretaker that it wasn't satisfied with the meals provided. She wanted fresh fish and used a smart way to tell the people feeding it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just like it's like a grumpy little kid just staring you down and then push your plate of macaroni and cheese onto the floor.
I said prime rib.
Give me that Wagyu beef. So, my question to you guys is, if you were an octopus, what crazy hijinks would you get up to?
Whew. I mean, there's so many options. You can
Yeah.
really mess with people if you're an octopus. If I was one, in a similar situation to these, or I'm in an aquarium or I'm in a tank, definitely studying the shifts like the fish snacker guy, but not to, sneak out and, steal fish or escape, because I'm sure they would just find me and put me back. But what I would do is I would cause some internal strife and some drama amongst the humans that were caring for me. I would break out and then right into, one of their planners, a meeting that the other person wasn't going to attend. And then they'd go to a meeting like, hey, where were you, Bill? It was on my calendar that we had a meeting. I know. I'm sure slowly they'd realize that my handwriting was more octopus than human.
Yeah.
But
Take a picture of somebody's wife, put it in another person's locker.
right. That's a great one.
Yeah, divorce, Divorce is great.
Take a couple of bites out of one of their sandwiches in the
Oh, yeah,
refrigerator.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just get slimy. Get it
Yeah,
all slimy.
just try to get them to turn on each other. Yeah.
That's a good one. I was thinking something sort of similar, but not with the staff, but with the people visiting the aquarium. Just kind of like sneak out during peak business hours and just cause mayhem in the crowds.
Start stealing watches to sell on eBay for some extra
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah.
So, actually,
I mean, I'm an octopus. I need 8 Rolexes.
one of the stories in here is actually something like that, where octopuses can suck in water and then squirt it out to propel themselves. And some of them use that and learn to shoot out water from their tank and squirt attendees passing by the tank.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's so interesting how these octopus seem to be able to escape whenever the hell they want, and they're just cool. They're just like they feed me here, like the water's clean. I'll just stay here. It'll be good.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they were closer to the ocean, if they'd be more keen to escape. Like, you gotta have a water source to live in. You gotta have food, so it is easier to, even if you can just get out and roam around, easier to stay where you know that stuff already exists. But I feel like I don't know, if someone's really cares for an octopus and is really taking care of it, like they can probably tell, if they're in a good situation or a bad situation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like the first step to domestication, right? It's just make it known that you are where food comes from, and you can grow up fat and happy, and then they stick around.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't be taken over by cephalopod overlords. Maybe we'll actually raise them up intelligent wise, and then we'll coexist
Side by
That
side.
would be awesome.
That would be
That would be
amazing.
pretty cool.
The Japanese would love that.
Hentai joke. Nice.
Hey, so I found out why there's so many tentacles in adult entertainment. In
Oh yeah,
Japan.
I actually know this one.
Yeah, and it's because of censoring penises. Like, you can't show a penis. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
what's the closest thing to a penis that we could show?
Yeah.
Happens to be a tentacle.
Yeah,
Or at
it's
least
just
that's
a
what
way
they
to
thought
get
of.
around
I
censorship.
didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And now it's a fetish.
Good to know.
Yeah, thanks, censorship. Look what you've done.
Yeah, look what you've done. You contributed to the deviantation of the. Okay.
Look at all the hot stuff you've done.
Look at all the hot stuff you did. Oh yeah. I would definitely. Have you guys ever seen that Looney Tunes? I'm pretty sure it's Looney Tunes skit where there's the singing and dancing frog, but he only sings when the one guy's around.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
And then basically, like, the guy builds a stage and he's trying to sell like the show, and then people get mad because it won't sing in front of them. But I would do that. I would just find one guard and just dance like real awesome like in front of them. So like, man, I'm gonna steal this octopus, and then open up a show of the dancing octopus and make all the money, and then I just never dance in front of anybody but him. Therefore, ruining his life because he is an octopus thief.
I like that.
Yeah. Like, maybe he deserves it.
Maybe, yeah. Listen,
that kind of reminds me of just the feeling of that. Reminds me of that one Twilight Zone episode where the guy just wants to read and be alone, and he lives in this world where he's got not enough time to read, and he's never alone. And then like the apocalypse comes, and he's like in the vault of the library in the basement, and he like comes back out. And he's like, what? Everyone's dead and gone? I've got so much time to read now. And then he steps on his glasses and breaks them. And he can't read at all. So then he's alone and can't read.
That was one of the best episodes, man. I love that episode.
It's a heartbreaking episode, but you kind of, like, he was kind of a jerk, so you don't know if you feel bad for him or not. Like, this is the Squid Thief mentality.
This is the squid. Yeah, we'll call it the Squid Thief conundrum.
Yeah.
Are they really bad, or they've just been dealt a bad hand?
Right.
I haven't actually seen any Twilight Zone, but I have seen the episode of Billy and Mandy that's like that, where she just yells. Mandy at one point gets mad at everybody. Goes, "Would everybody just go away?" And then some creepy magic happens, and then she's completely alone in the world. And then she's like walking like to and fro to see if anybody's around, and then she realizes that she is absolutely alone. It just goes, perfect, and then it cuts out.
That's hilarious. Twilight Zone is very much a product of its time, and some of them are great and like will hold up and are just classics, and others were kind of but
yeah, everything's kind of like that, you know. Like you guess the future a little bit when you do that speculative fiction. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, you hit the nail, and then sometimes you hit your finger.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was my topic. Hope we all learned a little something.
Thanks. That was a good one. So, do you guys remember a couple episodes ago when I shared Wojtek?
The Polish army bear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have something kind of, sort of, somewhat similar to that.
Okay.
And today I would like to share Jack the Baboon.
What?
Would you guys like to maybe guess what you think Jack the Baboon is known for?
Smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey.
If that's not it, I'll be super disappointed.
That's not entirely true, but
Okay.
But-
Here, I'm going to guess that he saved a village from being struck by an asteroid by blinding it with his bright blue butt.
Or embarrassing.
that is a movie I want to see. Yeah, that's awesome.
Is that right?
No.
Oh.
So, Jack the Baboon was actually employed by the railways in the U.S.
Okay.
So, let me go into a little bit of his history. His owner, James Wide, he was a railway worker, but at one point in his career he got struck by some trains and lost both of his legs, so he had to be in a wheelchair. So he bought a baboon and trained him to push around his wheelchair so he could get to
What the fuck?
each of the signals. Yeah. And he initially just trained him to push him around in his wheelchair so that he could actually do his job. But after a while, he trained the baboon to start doing his job for him, to operate the railway signals. And Um, Initially, obviously, there was some skepticism because people saw a baboon
Yeah.
doing the railway signals, which could be not good because then you get trains crashing into each other.
Potentially fatal.
But they decided to officially employ him and that he was competent at his job. So
Did they then
he was
fire
paid.
the other dude?
No, they worked together still. But the baboon pretty much did everything. The other dude was a supervisor.
Wait, he got
He was-
promoted to supervisor of the baboon. He tried to do his own job.
Yep.
Well, you know that saying,
And-
like, a trained monkey could do this. Well,
Well, he was paid 20 cents a day and half a bottle of beer each week.
nice.
Who got the other
And-
half of that bottle of beer?
It was
I
a
assume
Kangaroo
his
Jack.
supervisor, but I don't know. But this is the crazy part. It is widely reported that in his 9 years of employment, he never made a single mistake.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
That's a lot better
Yeah,
than me.
a baboon.
I
That's
wonder-
probably better than his supervisor. I bet that dude made. I mean, he obviously made this mistake. He lost both of his,
His
legs.
yeah.
So
Wait, was that in a train accident or unrelated circumstance?
it was a train accident. It said
Oh.
he got caught on a railway and they had to amputate his legs.
He
after-
desperately needed a smart baboon to take over then.
Yeah.
Exactly. Unfortunately, though, after 9 years of duty, Jack died of tuberculosis.
Jesus Christ.
This was in 1890.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh.
dude, the past was scary. Not
Yeah.
specifically, but definitely including tuberculosis.
But if you guys want to see Jack's skull, it's
Yep.
in a collection at the Albany Museum in Grahamstown.
Wow. This is an impressive baboon. Baboon.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that he was like
Yeah.
officially employed. Like, it's a weird thing to employ an animal. I imagine it's probably not strictly legal either. And I wonder if they ever
Well-
had any arguments on compensation. Like,
Could you ever be, or could you imagine just being a train conductor back then, just going along, and then all of a sudden you go past this stop and there's just a baboon running all the signals? Like, what the fuck? What is going on? Where am I?
I'm like, when did the world become a zootopia?
Right.
yeah, that's like, I don't know. You think people are like resistant to change now and are like scared of the future? Like, imagine, what you thought the world would become when you saw a baboon running the train signal. It's
Yeah.
like, what's
Right.
next? Am I gonna go see a rhinoceros to have my surgery done?
Also, like, what did this baboon do with the 20 cents a day that he got? Like, who actually got that money?
It
just
definitely
go
went to
back
that
to the rail
handler
company?
guy, right? The supervisor. I bet it just went to
Probably.
like, that's how much food he ate. So they're like, okay, give me 20
Oh,
cents
true.
to feed him, and he'll keep doing perfect signals instead of crashing trains into my
Hmm.
legs.
Do you think he actually drank the half a bottle of beer that they gave him?
Yes, absolutely. Dude, animals
Yeah.
love alcohol.
They do, yeah.
True. Hopefully
I-
that wasn't why he got tuberculosis.
I bet you're right that the supervisor got the other half. Like, it was probably like, look, that was probably part of the deal too. Look, this monkey or this baboon's doing a great job. Okay, we got to keep him happy. He needs beer. Probably not a whole one though. I'll just split it with him. Don't worry about it.
Right.
What year did you say it was?
He died in 1890.
Okay,
And he was employed for 9 years. So
I just
that's
really
like
want
81
to. I
through
want to
90.
check. You said 1890, and then 2019. I want to see.
Oh, it was in South Africa, not in America, but I don't. It's pretty crazy though.
It's insane.
But
Wait, what's?
well, Kyle's looking up something.
I think your mission for the podcast henceforth should be to do an episode on every amazing employed animal that there ever was. Like, I want to know all these stories. You got Wojtek the soldier bear that drank and smoked, and now we've got this baboon that has a perfect record. No, like
For
almost
9
no employee
years.
has a perfect record. This guy's 9 years on the job, perfect record, and man, did they work you like a horse back then. And he's just a baboon. He's not even the size of a horse.
Okay, so this inflation calculator I use would only do $1. And hold up, I gotta do a little bit more math here. 0.10 divided by 5, right? Yeah, 5. Okay, so it made $6.22 an hour. That monkey.
Wow, what? That's good. That's a good paying job.
Did you
For
say
like
it was
how
paid by
much?
the hour or by the day?
Oh, that was a day.
20 cents a day.
20 cents a day. Okay, well, it made $6.22 a day.
All right, so that's like food costs then, for sure.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
and
Yeah.
shit was a lot cheaper back then too. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So that's probably what it is. Like, we'll pay him enough to cover the feed, because he's so good at these damn signals. Like,
All right.
yeah.
So, I don't have a question to go for this, but I do have a little fun discussion game I'd like to try out. So, I'm going to go through a list of animals, and I want you guys to tell me what would this animal do as like a profession, like in
Okay.
a professional setting. What would it
Nice.
do? So first up, we have an anteater. What would an anteater do as a profession?
I mean, oh, go ahead, Kyle.
you know how when like you have a sweatshirt, a hoodie for long enough, the drawstring comes out from the loop.
Yeah.
They would stick their tongue all the way through the loop, and then you could feed it. Like they'd grab the thing and feed it back through for you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, my first thought was pest control.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, here comes the Orkin man, the anteater guy.
yeah, because then he can eat and work. It's kind of a good situation for the anteater. But I actually was thinking that they would open their own car wash probably. You'd go down to your local anteater car wash. You get the nice rinse, scrub, detailing, and then they all just chip in with their big noses to vacuum out the inside together. It's real fast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they'd be pretty good at getting the crumbs out from between like the chair and the center console.
Yeah, hands down. If you've got petrified fries underneath your seat, they're gonna find all of them.
They're gonna find all of them.
All right. The next one we got is a sloth. This one's a tough one.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. Oh no, I know exactly what they do. Ah, damn it! This is just a joke from Zootopia. I was gonna say work at the
DMV.
Secretary of State. They're so goddamn slow.
Yeah,
That was hilarious, though, that scene.
I
Yeah,
think they'd
yeah, it
make
was really
good tour guides for senior citizens.
Oh yeah.
They're all
Oh,
moving at the same
yeah.
speed anyway.
I like that.
Oh, actually, so you guys know about like support animals, or what do they call them?
Service animals?
So yeah, thank you, service animals. And there's a lot of different kinds of service animals, emotional support, like service animals for blind people and stuff like that. But a sloth would be for somebody who just walks way too fast all the time. It'd help them slow them down. So you'd have to put the sloth on the ground and like hook a leash to them, and you can't like walk too fast because the sloth is slow.
I'm generally a pretty fast walker.
Yeah, and you can just
So,
listen. You need to
same.
slowly roll, dude.
Oh yeah, people try to attach sloths to me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm basically just dodging sloths every time I go anywhere.
Yeah. So
All right.
okay. So I'm going to interrupt you for just a second because I've been fucking around with this inflation calculator some more, and assuming okay, so you can get a hamburger at McDonald's for like $2, right? Like depending on whatever. But I just average out to $2. And that would be about 7 cents in 1890, which means that Baboon could buy 89 hamburgers in a week. So that'd be a pretty happy Baboon.
Yeah, hell yeah, it would.
All right. Sorry. Continue, please.
I got one more animal for you.
Mhm.
Octopus. What would an octopus do for a profession?
A professional thief. Be a jewel thief.
Yeah.
Nobody'd ever see it coming. They check
I
the
think this-
cameras. What the fuck? It's
See,
an octopus.
They'll
was
just
thinking
squeeze themselves through the keyhole of the safe.
that I was thinking that, but I think an octopus would also be a phenomenal sous chef.
Yeah.
Oh
that's a
yeah,
good one.
they could be cooking like 4 different things at once.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was kind of going along the same lines. I think they'd be great entertainers, juggling. Imagine juggling
I was
with
going to
8
say
arms.
musician with any instrument that doesn't require you blowing air. Like piano,
An octopus on the drums.
on the,
Oh
yeah, the
my
drums.
God.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Oh, that would be
So
wow.
there is
Such
a
wow.
I think it's romantic period pianist who was really famous for having these like incredibly hard to play pieces because this dude's hands were so
Massive.
big that he
Yeah.
could reach key combos and chords that like other people couldn't. And I would be afraid of the music an octopus could play. That'd be amazing.
That would be nuts. I have a professional pianist driver at my store. He's actually about to leave because he's working on a contract in
Oh,
like New York Opera House.
That's
now,
amazing.
so.
Sergei Rachmaninov is the name of the person. Famous
have a
Russian
picture of his
composer,
hands?
pianist. I don't, because I think he was around before that time, 1873. I don't remember when pictures were invented.
Ah, gotcha. Well, anyways, that was my topic.
Hey, man, thanks for sharing. That was fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan.
You got to get off like these animal websites. Been hanging and spending too much time on them.
What? I just gave him the mission to find all of them.
Oh, did you? My bad. I was really engrossed into inflation calculators, so I may have missed a thing or two. I apologize.
I think, I mean, not in a row, please, but if there are more animals doing jobs, I'm just gonna leave it up to Jordan to find them for us.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then maybe hire him. Maybe we can find someone to do this podcast for us.
Oh, if we could get 3 baboons to record this for us every week, dude, we'd be sitting pretty.
Here's the secret: we already have.
It
3
can't be.
baboons recording it.
I was about to say it can't be hard. We have a baboon president, so.
All right, today I would like to share with you a game I like to call "Who Has Rocks for Brains."
Oh,
Yeah. All right. So it hasn't been that long since we've done a Who Has Rocks for Brains, but let me give you a refresher of the rules just in case. I'm about to give you 2 a topic. You're going to go back and forth with answers. If one of you provides a wrong answer, or if you give me an answer that's already been said, or if you take too long to give me an answer, the win will go to the other player.
I just want to say, Kyle's been on a winning streak for this game ever since I called him out.
That's true.
Get at me.
Let's see if he can hold his belt, or if he's got to take his pants off. The topic for today is
I'll take his pants off.
The topic is the top 10 happiest states in the United States of America.
Oh no.
So, you know what?
Fuck.
It's a new year. It's a new us. And we need to look for happier places to live now. But I am interested in knowing where the happy places are, so I can, point to where the grass is greener. Looking for the top 10 here. If somehow you guys get all 10, instead of me losing, see how I'm avoiding losing, I'm going to ask you guys to move on to the 10 least happiest states. I feel like this is not going to happen, but I'm just putting it out there. There's no way for me to lose this round.
What if we get all 10 of the happiest and all 10 of the least happiest?
I will destroy my microphone and quit the podcast.
All right, Jordan, we
shit,
really
Kyle,
got to get
you
these
hear
right.
All right.
We finally found a way.
We need to determine who will go first. So please tell
Kyle.
me, which one of you has an infected toe?
I don't know, Jordan. Looks like it's you.
Damn.
Okay, I'll go first.
All right.
Okay, so we're starting off with 10 happiest states.
Yeah, and because it's 10 out of 50 states, and while I think you guys can guess some of these answers from here, because there's some that do make sense for what would be the happiest states in the U.S., I think this is a bit of a hard topic, so what I want to do is allow for one mulligan each.
Yeah, okay.
Wait. Are we gonna do the rule where if he gets it wrong and I get it wrong, we go on?
Yeah, we could probably do that, but no, actually, no. We're not
No,
doing
it'll
that
go on
because we have the
forever.
mulligan.
Just doing one mulligan. Yeah.
We're just doing
Yeah,
the one
mulligans.
mulligan.
Mulligans, okay.
Okay. Man, this is a crazy question. I'm gonna guess that it's a state in like the southern part of the United States, just because we Northerners have to deal with winter and seasonal depression's a thing. So I'm going to say South Carolina.
South Carolina, not on the list of the top 10 happiest states in the U.S. Kyle, that is your mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jordan, you're next.
I am gonna say Florida because that's where everyone goes to retire his teams.
But are any of the old people there actually happy?
True, but also Universal and Disney is there.
Yeah, that's also not on the list.
What?
Florida, not one of the top 10 happiest states in the U.S. You've also used up your mulligan. Kyle, back to you.
I think we're gonna need
Okay,
3 more
I'm-
mulligans.
And I think what you guys are, and let me stop you guys here because your train of thought so far has been superficial happiness. I don't
Yeah,
have to deal with
that's
the
fair.
cold, so my life must be perfect. You gotta think about
mean-
what really makes people happy. It's not Disney World or
oh,
it's having a
gambling.
safe place to live. It's having a good place to raise your family. It's not having to worry
Yeah.
about
I think I got
income
your one.
inequality as much and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, changing my tactic up dramatically, Rhode Island, because there's just less people. So it's got to be safer, right? Like, what
All
problems
right.
you got if you're in Rhode Island?
Rhode Island, not on the
Damn
list.
it.
either.
All right.
So, Kyle, you have rocks for brains.
I always have rocks for brains.
It's official. Can you give us a little jiggle of your head so we can hear him bouncing around in there?
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
Oh, wow. Holy shit, he really does.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you guys to keep guessing, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give me a few more guesses. Once you feel like you've given up, I'll just run through the list for you guys.
Colorado.
Colorado, not on the list.
Damn it. Oregon. Oh, sorry. It's
No,
Kyle's
no,
turn.
you're good.
You're
Oregon.
just going through marijuana legalization.
That's exactly what my goal was gonna be.
I mean, it's
Not a bad
Oregon's
tactic.
beautiful. A lot of hiking. A lot of good,
Oh.
healthy life stuff.
That's true. Oregon is really beautiful.
What
Is it
was
on
it?
there?
Yeah, was it on the
It's
list?
not on there.
Okay.
It's not
Oh
on
my
there.
god.
Utah.
That's where I want to live.
Utah is number 2 on the list.
Okay.
It's the second happiest state in the U.S. That's a
Well,
great
no.
guess because Utah's kind of like its own little bubble
weird.
down there.
I was trying
Not
to. I was trying
impacted
to
by
think
too
of like a
much
weird
else.
state, and I was thinking of Idaho and Utah, and I went with Utah.
Well, guess what? Idaho also on the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yep. Number 6.
I
How
should have
about
guessed just
Nevada?
like those. Yeah. Well, Nevada. You think so?
Nevada not on the list.
Maine.
Maine
That's a good one.
not on the list. I would have thought that one too though cuz that is kind
Yeah,
of like, you
yeah.
know, those
What about-
northern states.
Maryland.
Maryland is number 8 on the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're still missing the number one
Nebraska.
answer, which I think might
Texas.
That can't be Texas.
negative.
Pe-
Texas
people-
not on the list.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I had to go with a weird
What about
one.
Nebraska?
Nebraska's number 9.
Okay.
California's number 1.
California's number 4.
Ah,
All right, you guys are getting them now. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, you're only missing a few more. You want me to run through the list?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't have any
Well,
more
if you have a
guesses.
final guess, Jordan, feel free to throw it at me.
New Mexico.
Not on the list.
I don't know.
All right, so there's only a few on here that really surprised me, but in order of 10th to number 1, most happiness. Number 10 is Connecticut, Nebraska, Maryland, Massachusetts, Idaho, New Jersey, California. The top 3 are Minnesota, Utah, and number 1, Hawaii.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
That makes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, I don't think they're happy anymore after that volcano, but
I think
All right.
they
Too
might
soon?
still
Too
be
soon?
happy.
They're pretty
Alright,
used to
if you guys
volcanoes, though. So
no, I know.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though. I mean, Hawaii is.
There
beautiful.
literally isn't a Hawaii without volcanoes.
yeah, exactly.
But I'm actually a little. Well, no, never mind.
The one
Hawaii
I
is
was-
beautiful.
I was surprised about New Jersey, and mostly because it gets a bad rap.
Yeah, dude,
I've
I
been
was
through
like,
New Jersey,
what?
and it was fine. Like it wasn't anything that blew my mind, but it wasn't as terrible as everyone makes it seem. And I think I'm just
guess-
surprised that their happiness
What-
level is so high.
What I wonder is how the hell did they come up with this list?
yeah, I'm
Is
kind
it
of
like-
interested what how happiness was measured.
Is there anything about?
Yeah,
it,
I mean,
that says
it's
it?
really hard to determine happiness, right? How do you
Right.
Dude.
how do you grade happiness?
My whole psychology capstone class was literally all about researching happiness. And I thought it was the biggest waste of time. I
Yeah.
really wish I would have got a different profession for my capstone. But
I believe what they did was surveys. In the article, it says that they looked at 31 key indicators of happiness.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
From state statistics, and then based it on those statistics.
So, what were the least happiest states?
Yeah.
So, in order, again, like going from the
50
bottom
to
to the
40.
least happiest, it's number 10 is Missouri, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Alabama, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, and then the top 3 for least happiest are Alaska, Arkansas, and number 1, West Virginia.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
okay.
Especially because the top six or the bottom six
Wait,
are southern
I'm sorry.
states.
You're telling me the Bible Belt is the least happy place in America? Man,
Yeah.
you could have really. I mean, with the exception of Alaska, but that just makes sense. They're just winter.
Yeah, it's cold. It's dark.
And
Like
30
there's no
days a night.
sunlight for a lot of the, or there's very little sunlight for a lot of the year, and yeah, that makes sense. Alaska.
West
It's a little
Virginia is kind
isolated.
of a surprise.
Not
I mean,
to
that's
me, man.
Appalachia,
True.
and it's, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know a lot about West Virginia or why it would be the least happiest, but maybe it's just like there's less people to
Hey,
be happy there.
John Denver would disagree.
I'm sure it's beautiful.
No, you see, you have to write those kinds of songs in order to convince people that you aren't sad.
True.
So
True. True.
So a little further into the article, they give some insight into what some of the stuff they pulled, and so it says like for Utah, they have the highest volunteer rate out of any state and the lowest divorce rate, so that contributed to why they were number 2 ranking. They have 51% of the people that live in Utah volunteer, which is insane.
wow. I'm not okay. So as you all know, in research, correlation does not equal causation. But I do want to say that a lot of those states that you said were the most unhappy also happen to be as of 2016, have the most percentage of obese adults. West Virginia, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas,
Yeah.
Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Now that's an interesting thing because it's like, could it be that they're unhappy because they're obese, or could it be that they're obese because there's less happiness in general, there's less opportunities, so people are uh, more susceptible to the factors that contribute to obesity, and certainly depression can be one of those factors. So
And
I wonder if it's what direction that goes in for correlation. But that's interesting. So my question to kind of go along with this Rocks or Brains topic was: is the grass greener anywhere from your perspective? And or what would your current happiness, like statewide happiness rating, be for where you live now?
I mean, is the grass greener? I I think so. I've actually thought about what it'd be like to live in Rhode Island, which is why I gave my answer. Like, what the fuck do you have to worry about in Rhode Island? But I guess tsunamis every once in a while. Sorry, hurricanes. But
Maybe
yeah,
a
I
tsunami.
think like sometimes I think it would be nice to like move down further south so you had to deal with a less mild winter. But global warming is kind of taking care of that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want to move out west, like Oregon or Washington, but it's just I don't know. I mean, Michigan's beautiful. Like not where
It
I
is.
live, but like if you go up north in Michigan, it's just gorgeous up there. So
Yeah, I like
Um,
Michigan a lot. It's like kind of like a mini map of the entire country. You got like nice sandy beaches on the west coast. You got the, rocky, foresty, woods, wilderness, icy coldness of the Upper Peninsula and northern Michigan.
You got your
And on the
cities.
East Coast, you got your industrial cities and
Michigan was
Rocky
voted like
shores.
the #1 tourist state last year.
Yeah, I mean, I love Michigan. I don't plan on moving out of Michigan unless things get really weird. But
yeah. And I didn't intend this question to be like coming from your parents, where it's like, are you gonna stay here next to us or move out?
yeah, well,
That's funny,
I was
'cause my
just thinking
parents
about
are
it.
actually moving down south.
Yeah.
Where are they moving?
Virginia,
Oh,
Don't tell them not to go to West Virginia.
up
Yeah.
in the mountains. They're retiring and moving up in the mountains near my aunt and uncle.
Isn't that the uncle that drives around and cuts people's firewood for them for like ridiculous amounts of money?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
that's quite the gig.
Yeah, dude, cutting wood is fun.
What is
Yeah,
fun?
especially when you're retired and you have nothing else to do. Well, I mean, he still gets like a pension from GM, but anyways.
Yeah, man.
I
Well,
think that
thanks for
was a good
sharing.
topic.
Yeah,
that was hard, but I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
that was a hard one. Yeah, but
Well, once we figured it out, we started getting it.
yeah, you guys
But-
like after a handful of mulligans started
Yeah.
rattling them off real quick. It's just like it's hard to mentally think about what would be the factors for a happy state. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a difficult one.
Yeah, and you said that it was taken from like the 31 contributors to happiness, which is basically just like a whole bunch of researchers went around and asked people like, what are the things that make you happy? And then they
Right.
compile them, and yeah. That kind of survey stuff is work I did all throughout my time in school as a psychology major.
Did you figure out the secret to happiness?
Yeah, it's basically don't be poor. But even that is
Yeah.
just like if you're not poor, you have the least amount of chance to be unhappy. But yeah.
Yeah, it turns out money gives you access to the things that meet your hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
And without money in this country, it's impossible to meet those needs.
I mean, nowadays people like look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs as kind of like a joke. I mean, it's got some good information in there, but yeah, basically once your basic needs are met, your chance of being a functioning human being dramatically increases, which should be a surprise to nobody. Well, that about wraps it up. Join us again next time where we do it all again. And remember, as Snoop Dogg says, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening, and keep an eye out for another episode of Today I Would Like to Share.
Yeah, and make sure you look us up on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or any other podcast app of your choice.
Once you find us and give us a listen, please leave us an honest review of what you think of the show. You can do so at Apple Podcasts.
And YouTube.
Or send us an email at contact@blamoindustries.com. That's contact@blamoindustries.com.
Okay, hold up. I gotta take this huge-ass motherfucking antibiotic pill.
All right, we gotta leave
That's
this part. In the
definitely going at the end of the podcast.
show. We need somebody to shoutcast Kyle taking it. Oh, he's
right.
got the glass up to his mouth. Oh, never mind, he finished.
Really, though, these things are fucking huge. They're like the size of a dime.
I get liquid antibiotics every time.
Can you just say
Oh, yeah.
how big things are out of context? We're trying to get some sound bites here, Kyle.
My dick is huge. It's the size of a trumpet.
Man, this is so big it's hard to swallow.
It's the size of a trumpet. You should blow it. No. Okay.
Zoinks.
I blew
Sorry,
it.
just move a chair.
No, I blew my trumpet.
That did sound like
Dude,
it
that
did
sounded
sound like
a
he moved
chair
a
on
chair.
tile, for sure.
Yeah, it really did. That's funny. Yeah. I have a lot to edit out here.
All right.